Nation of Fitin10, it is day 16. And of course, your numbers came out Friday night, but the link in there for your feedback doesn't work. It's a long story. This happened to me before. Looks like it works, it doesn't work. There's a bunch of metadata in there. Just go to your week 2, or I reposted it in Slack. If you just go to Slack and the Fitin10 channel, you'll have it right there. Okay, so you can just click on it and send in your feedback. So do that for me as soon as possible. Okay. Okay. So somebody asked a great question. And this is one example. I'm just going to use this as an example. They looked at the back of this bar and they said, I'm looking at this, but there's 14 grams of sugar in this bar. And so isn't that a bad thing? Well, I think as I mentioned to you guys, you've got to eat, you're going to eat some carbohydrates, and, certainly some of the carbohydrates you eat are going to be in the form of sugar. And, sugar is not the same, as I've told you before, sugar is not the same when you start to combine it with fat and or fiber and or protein, right? Which all of that's in here, by the way. But you're going to find sugar in foods that are perfectly fine for you to eat, like fruit. Okay, if you eat a banana, it's pure sugar. In terms of calories, the calories that are coming from banana are pure sugar. Does that mean it's bad? No, it certainly doesn't mean it's bad. Listen, all carbohydrates. Firstly, I should say, all carbohydrates, putting fiber aside, all carbohydrates are really just sugar. Okay, starch is just sugar. Starch is just a chain of sugar. Starch just gets broken down into sugar. Okay, so don't let something, just because something says sugar on the back of it, doesn't mean it's bad, right? I mean, surely you probably realize that fruit is something that is healthy for you. Hopefully you're not getting convinced by somebody else that it's not. You've got to, first of all, weigh everything out. How much sugar are you getting in for the day, first of all, right? Because there's a big difference. If this bar said 100 grams of sugar on it, that might be a little bit different, right? The total glucose load would be very, very high. Also, if it was just sugar and there was nothing else in it, that would be a little bit different. When you're eating something like a piece of fruit, like a banana, which is pure sugar when it comes to, virtually pure, 98% of the calories in there are sugar. You're getting a lot of other things like micronutrients, like vitamins and minerals. You're getting phytonutrients. You're getting all these different plant-based, you can think of nutrients in there that are healthy for you. So don't always think of if something has sugar, therefore it's bad. And as I mentioned to you, you get some carbohydrates in your diet, and some of that's going to come just naturally from sugars, right? Starches, I'll say starches and sugar, even though starch is really just a long chain sugar, okay? So don't get too concerned with that. Yes, you want to watch your sugar intake, but again, if you're having a sugar and it's within a certain amount, okay, so you're getting a certain amount of carbohydrates. So if all your carbohydrates were coming from, let's say, fruit, would that be an issue? No, it wouldn't be an issue. Why would it be an issue? It's not an issue, okay? You're getting some fats in there, you're getting some protein. It's really the source of sugar. If you told me you're getting all your carbohydrates from sugar and it's in the form of pop, yeah, that's not really a good idea. Is it really going to make that much of a difference? Not really, but so long as you're drinking pop with other things, it's probably going to make some difference, but not a huge difference if the sugar amount was the same between eating, 100 grams, having 100 grams of sugar from pop and having 100 grams of sugar from I don't know, isobars or something. Okay, it's not really going to be that much difference. The difference lies in when you do have foods that are high in sugar, you're generally going to eat a lot more of those. Okay, so it's very easy to, have a can of Coke and have a chocolate bar, and you're easily going to get, well over 100 grams of sugar with zero nutrition. Okay, or very little nutrition. Right, that's a different scenario, and you're not getting any protein with that. You're not getting You maybe getting a little bit of fat. You're certainly not getting any fiber. You're not getting any micronutrients. Okay, so you've got to weigh everything out. Okay, and as I said, you get some carbohydrates in your diet, and some of these carbohydrates surely are going to come from sugar. You're going to eat fruit. You're going to eat things that are totally acceptable, like you know, an isobar. You can eat things like honey. Okay, you can drink milk. Milk's got sugar in it. Okay. All right. Marinade on meats. How many do we have for time? 5.5 minutes. Marinade on meats. Okay, so how do you do this? Well, again, it's just math when you make any other recipe. So, you know, put all the ingredients in, figure out what all those ingredients are in terms of what their macronutrients are, which is probably just going to be, if it's marinade, it's probably going to be just sugars and fats, probably. Okay, majority of it's going to be that. So figure out the total in that amount. Okay, weigh out that total amount. So you've got a certain amount in a bag, let's say. Okay, and you weigh it out, and let's say it's, I don't know, 300 grams. Okay, and then you apply a certain amount to the meat, and then you just take that bag and you re-weigh it out. And how much did you use? Let's just make this easy. Let's just say you used half of it. Okay, so you got 150 grams left in the bag. Well, you know the total macronutrients in that bag, right? So now you're just going to say, okay, well, all of that marinade got applied to the meat, right? And then you're just going to subdivide it into the meat, right? How much meat do you have? Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you're going to start to do stuff like that, it is going to require a little bit of math, but you just have to put your essentially your arithmetic skills into motion and figure it out. Okay, but it shouldn't really take you that long, especially if you're repeating things. Okay, so again, measure out all the ingredients going in, then you know what the total macros are for that bag of marinade, let's call it. Apply as much as you want to the meat that you have. See how much is left over at the end, subtract that from the total macros, and then subdivide that evenly across the meats, right? Okay, so hopefully that helps you. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about sugar, I suppose. Is pop bad? What about pop that is, sugarless? Okay, there's nothing wrong with having sugar-free pop. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know why people think it's bad. Having a sugar-free pop per day is in my opinion, is not going to be bad. It's certainly going to be much better than having pop that's, got 50 grams of sugar in there, or maybe more, depending on how much you're drinking. Okay, so sugar-free pop, totally fine. And there's no hidden sugars in pop. There's nothing like that. Okay, I've heard that before. Well, it's the hidden sugars in there. There's no hidden sugars. There's just the sugar's either there or it's not, and if it's there, it'll be on the label. Okay, like it'll be on your macronutrient list. It's not like it's not in that list and it's somehow hidden in there, and it's just like it's a conspiracy from you. Okay, there's no hidden sugars in sugarless pop. Okay, message of the day. This is you versus you. You need to focus on you. You can't. I hear this all the time. I know somebody who has a very fast metabolism, or I know somebody who they eat all this, and I know somebody who's doing this, and okay, well, maybe that's true. I highly doubt it's true. I highly doubt that you know exactly what another person does day in, day out, every day. I highly doubt you know that. Okay? And let's just say that is the case. Let's just say they have this magical metabolism and they're eating all kinds of junk, and you can't do that because you'll get fat. Makes no difference whether that exists or not. The question is what's going to work for you, okay? What's going to work for you? So stay in your own lane, focus on what you have to do, and if anything, focus on trying to get better in the aspects of this challenge, okay? Right? Focus on progress over perfection, right? But really focus on trying to progress yourself. It's irrelevant of where somebody else is or what they're eating or how much exercise they're doing. Just focus on you and focus on what you have to do, okay? All right, positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for the love of God, give some gratitude. I'll talk to you very soon. See ya.